The Evergreens is an extraordinary house, unusually preserved and steeped in the histories of the Dickinson family and the town of Amherst. It's changed very little since the end of the 19th century and remains full of Dickinson family furnishings and personal possessions. The lack of change was a distinct choice by Emily Dickinson's niece Martha and her heirs, and that choice led to decades of environmental conditions unfriendly to the collections within. The Evergreens was built for Emily Dickinson's brother Austin and his family in 1856. The close relationships between the Dickinson families at the Homestead and the Evergreens had a profound impact on Emily Dickinson's poetry and its posthumous publication. The Evergreens is one of the earliest unchanged examples of Italianate domestic architecture in Amherst. Susan and Austin Dickinson quickly made it a center of the town's social and cultural life, with notable visitors such as Ralph Waldo Emerson, abolitionist Wendell Phillips, writer Harriet Beecher Stowe, and landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted, among others. Emily Dickinson herself was a frequent guest at the Evergreens in those early years. She would be found cheering on games of battledore and shuttlecock in the front hall, or improvising her own tunes on the piano for the entertainment of the whole party. Her delight in having her brother and sister-in-law right next door prompted a poem dedicated to Sue that began, "One sister have I in the house, and one a hedge away. There's only one recorded, but both belong to me." In fact, Emily sent nearly 300 poems to Susan during their 40-year friendship. After Emily and her sister Lavinia died, the many poem manuscripts that remained at the homestead were carried across the lawn to the Evergreens. And that's how it became the chief repository of Dickinson's verse, at least for a while. Starting in 1914, Austin and Susan's only surviving child, Martha Dickinson Bianchi, edited numerous collections of her aunt's poetry and authored biographical works about her through the 1930s. Both she and her heirs, Alfred Leet Hampson, and later his widow, Mary Landis Hampson, recognized the tremendous historical and literary significance of a site left completely intact as the Evergreens was, and they looked for ways to ensure its preservation as an emblem of Emily Dickinson's significance. Closed since 2019, the museum recently reopened the Evergreens after completing a multi-year preservation effort aimed at improving environmental conditions for the objects in our recently documented collection. This project tightened the building envelope, put in new insulation, and reduced the infiltration of harmful light rays across the spectrum. We also upgraded the HVAC system to maintain temperature and relative humidity in ranges that promote the preservation of sensitive collections objects. With these improvements, we can continue with gradual and steady preservation of the Evergreens' fragile interior decor to evoke the lives and legacies of the Dickinson family as authentically as possible. In doing so, we can convey the story of how Dickinson's poetry came to be appreciated worldwide and of the extraordinary people who recognized her genius and dedicated their lives to sharing it. Now, both the Homestead and the Evergreens are open, waiting for your visit to see an authentic piece of Emily Dickinson's intimate world.